Parshas Vayikra, Shabbos Vayikra Zachor, Tavshin Ayin Vav. We're actually 1 week before Purim, and time is running along. Before you turn around, we're going to have Purim. Pesach is coming. We hope still, a little program note, we hope still at some time at the beginning of next week to get in a Purim Shiur. But before we get started with tonight's Shiur on Parshas Vayikra, we would like to wish a very special and hearty Mazel Tov to the originator of this Shiur, Yosef Mother Pearl, who became a grandfather tonight. And it's a big, big simcha for everybody here. We're extremely happy. You can clap, you can cheer. He's going to, I'm sure, watch it later. Yosef, you should be zoicha to have many, many more grandchildren and have a lot of Yiddish and nachas from all of them. The Parsha and the Seder Vayikra begin, Vayikra el Moshe, Vayidaber Hashem elov me'oil ma'ed leimor. And that's the way the first pasuk, Adam ki yakriv mikem karban Hashem. We move from discussing the Mishkan the past couple of weeks, and we move from discussing Golus and Geulas Mitzrayim and the Mishkan and everything. We move on to now a Parsha and Parshiyos that discuss the Karbanos, the different Karbanos that were brought. And on this very first pasuk of Seder Vayikra, and even on the first word, the Mefarshim have so much to say. There's so much to be said. You know, you think that we're talking about Karbanos and we're talking about things that seem to be a little less, I don't want to say interesting, but a little less, that we're able a little bit less to expound and all these warm stories. But the Mefarshim speak at length about the first word of this Seder, and that is the word Vayikra. And one of the points brought out by the Beis Avraham in the Nesivos Shalom is that the word Vayikra is said in a Lashon Nistar. And what does that mean? What's a Lashon Nistar? What's a hidden Lashon? So the Beis Avraham says that it doesn't say, it says Vayikra Moshe. In other words, that called out to Moshe, and Moshe was called. Who did this calling? Where did this calling come from? And that is called a Lashon Nistar. The Beis Avraham points that out. He says this Vayikra is, this whole calling is a Lashon Nistar. And says the Beis Avraham, what is this Lashon Nistar, this hidden calling out? What does it allude to? And what does it teach us? And he says that it alludes to the call that emanates each day. Chazal tell us that every day a voice comes out from Har Sinai and it asks Klal Yisrael to come back and do tshuva. And that's what this Lashon Nistar, it's a hidden calling. And from this hidden calling, this idea of a hidden calling, we see that even today, every day, there is a hidden calling that comes out of Har Sinai. A Baskol, we know, comes out from Har Sinai and says that we should all come back to Hashem and do tshuva. But it's not a calling, it's not audible, it's not something that we hear. It's a hidden calling. It's a calling that speaks to the leib, it speaks to the heart of every Jew, and not necessarily to your ears. It's not something that we hear. Why? Because it's not audible. And as we've mentioned, we've asked a question on this many times in the past. The Baal Shem Tov has a question here. The Baal Shem Tov says, if a voice, so to speak, a baskol, comes out of Har Sinai every day and asks us to do tshuva, why don't we hear it? Why don't we hear that voice? Asked the Baal Shem Tov. And if we don't hear it, and if it's something that we're not going to hear, why the calling? Why does the voice come out? So Baal Shem Tov explains a very, very beautiful, beautiful explanation. And he says like this. He says that every single person, every person here has a time, sometime or another in their life that they have an inspiration. And you have an inspiration in your heart to change. And you have an inspiration in your heart to do tshuva. And you have an inspiration to grow. Everybody has those moments. And we all have, they're not the same. Well, two people aren't the same. But every person has those moments in your life where you feel inspired. And you feel that you have to do something. You feel that you have to change. And that inspiration, that is the calling that goes out every day, says the Baal Shem Tov. It's not something that you hear with your ears. But you wake up and you're going about your life, but you know it's there. You know, and that's what that Baskol that comes out of Har Sinai does. And really, it is incumbent on every person to hang on to that inspiration and do something with it. It's one thing that we feel inspired, and many times people know when they're inspired, but what a shame if you just let those moments go by and they go to waste. Every person has his time, his 15 minutes of fame, his moment that he wakes up in the morning and I'm going to do something today. But you know what? If you waste it and you don't take advantage of the opportunity, it's that baskol, it's the message, that is a message that you're getting. And you know what? That message is specific to you. It's meant only for you, because no two people are the same. Hashem is talking to you. So Vayikra even has a small aleph. If you take a look at the Sefer Torah, the word Vayikra has a small aleph at the end. And you know what that small aleph tells us? It says in Nesivos Shalom, without that aleph, the word is Vayikar. One who, it means an occurrence. It means a happening. So that word Vayikra in the calling tells us that every occurrence, every Vayikar we take out, we make that aleph a small aleph. Every occurrence in a person's life, every occurrence is a hidden message from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And we have to remember that. Everything that happens to us in our lives is a message from Hashem, and it's telling us to return. It's telling us to use the opportunity and come closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And it's like a king, says in Nesivos Shalom. A king whose his son goes away to a faraway land, and then in those days they didn't have email or WhatsApp or Skype, or he wanted to keep in touch. A king wanted to keep in touch with the prince. So you know what he does? He sends him letters. He sends him letters. And that's what Hashem is sending us. Hashem, we're in a faraway land. Hashem is up in Shemayim, and our neshama started there. But then Hashem sends us far away. But during our lives, Hashem sends us letters. He sends us messages. And sometimes a person feels in their lives that the challenges and the temptations that Hashem sends your way on the other side. Yes, Hashem is sending us messages, but sometimes people feel, Hashem is sending me messages, but the challenges and the temptations that you're sending my way also, I'm totally overcome by them. Thank you very much, Hashem, for sending me messages that I should come back. But you're also sending me these challenges. You're also sending me these temptations, and they seem too daunting. It seems like the Yetzer Hara, it's too great for me to handle. So it says in Nesivos Shalom, you have to know that this is the way life works. You know how life works? People don't know. People always have the question, what's my tafkid in life? What is my goal? What is it that I have to accomplish in life and not the person and the next person? It says in the Nesivos Shalom, do you know that when you find a Yetzer Hara, when you find something that's tough for you, that is the biggest sign in Hashemayim. That is also a message from Hashem. That is the biggest sign from Hashem that is your tafkid in life. And people think that, I have these challenges thrown to me. That's a message from Hashem. Hashem knows your weaknesses. And Hashem is showing you what your challenge is and what you have to accomplish in your life. And this is hinted to us in the word Vayikra, the Lashon Nister. You have to hear the hidden messages from Hashem. Vayikra, being called out. But it's called out with a small aleph, and it doesn't say who's doing the calling, because it's B'Lashon Nister. You have to pay attention to these messages from Hashem, whether they are messages to come back, or it's messages telling you, throwing obstacles in your path sometimes. It's messages telling you what your tafkid in life is. Hashem is putting it out there for you by showing you with what you are challenged. And the reason that you feel that you're constantly being challenged is because Hashem is constantly giving you the opportunity, one time after another. Hashem, it's so hard. You keep throwing one challenge after another in my way. No, it's not in your way. Hashem is sending you the messages. Each time you don't get the message, Hashem is giving you the opportunity to face it and to use it and to grow. And Hashem is putting it right in front of you, so you should finally get the message. And you know what? It says in Nesivos Shalom something very interesting.
And if you do all the ma'asim tovim in the world, you can do all the good things, and you can learn, and you can do all the different things in life, and they're all wonderful, and they all go to your credit. But if you, during your lifetime, don't figure out and don't know what your challenge is, if you don't figure that out and you don't overcome that and you don't accomplish that, then you missed the boat. You missed the boat of your life. You missed your challenge. So after Vayikra, after the pasuk, the first pasuk Vayikra, the next pasuk tells us, Adam ki yakriv mikem. You bring it from yourself, not from somebody else. Your korban, your thing that you bring to Hashem is different than everybody else. Adam ki yakriv mikem. From you, from the things that are challenging you, that's the korban. That's what you have to bring to Hashem. If you have trouble at times identifying what exactly you need to work on, pay attention to the Vayikra. Pay attention to the words and pay attention to the messages that Hashem is sending you, because Hashem is sending it to you in so many different ways. And what a pity it would be to miss the boat of your life, to miss the callings, to miss the things that are coming your way. Hashem is trying to make it easier for you. Yes, there are challenges, but Hashem is trying to tell you, you want to fulfill your obligation. You want to fulfill your tafkid in life. Vayikra b'loshoin nistar. Be awake. Do not fall asleep at the wheel. Don't be sleeping while the messages are coming to you. It's lashon nistar. So we need to listen and we need to learn. We need to understand that there are messages in life. And every single thing that goes on around us, be it yourself, your family, your friends, different challenges, different things that happen, nothing is by coincidence. Everything that happens to you, Hashem is telling you, this is a message for you. This is something you have to grow from. And we're coming now to the very high and holy weeks of Purim and Pesach. And there's so much time now to reflect and to grow. And it's a very busy time. The Yetzer Hara makes you so busy with everything else on Purim, besides understanding what a holy day Purim is. Because the Yetzer Hara wants you to miss that opportunity. He wants you to be drunk the first second Purim comes and you sleep through and vomit the rest of the day. That's what the Yetzer Hara wants. He doesn't want you to take advantage of the message of Purim. He also wants you to be so busy for Pesach, and of course I want everybody to help, and everybody has to help for Pesach, and it's the right thing to do. But let's not forget the message that we get, Purim and Pesach. There's so much time to grow. We have to come out on the other side of these Yom Tov and Purim and Pesach. We have to come out different people. So let's all be in tune. And let's understand that this Parshat Vayikra, let's be in tune to the messages. And it's lashon nistar. It's a hidden message. But if you're tuning in, you'll feel it and you'll know it when your message is coming to you.